Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of January 2023. Happy New Year to you. I hope you are well. I'm using the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot for you today. I know this reading's a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for waiting for me. I do appreciate it. So, if the reading resonates with you and you would like to go a little bit deeper, there is the first link in the description box is to the extended. You can go and check that out if you so wish. The second link is to the 6-month overviews that I've done for each of the signs. They run obviously January to June 2023 and they are quite thorough. They run to between 3 and 4 hours depending on the sign. So yes, that's the second link. The third link is to my private community, the Order of the Phoenix, over on Circle. If you're interested in checking any of those out, you know what to do. They're in the description box. So let's have a look and see what's going on with you, Scorpio. We've got the Two of Cups has come out. It's kind of sideways for your recent past. Current energy, please. Current energy for Scorpio. There it is. We have the Knight of Cups. Interesting. There's definitely a water theme here for you at the moment. And what's coming towards Scorpio in January, please? We have the Nine of Cups, a very watery theme for you. We have the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. There it is. And I've often said that I felt like this card was the one that varied the most between decks. There's always two pentacles on it, obviously, but there's almost always water in the background. Not uniformly, but almost always. And in the Waite-Smith, we see that water kind of rolling quite high, and we've got ships on the back of it. You know, you can see how big the waves are. There's a little bit of waveage going on down here, but we're missing the ships, and so we're missing any kind of perspective as to how choppy this sea might be. I think it's probably less choppy than most times. But it talks about it talks about the act of balance in this case for you. I mean, these two pentacles, and it is so here, right? We've got a lemniscate going around the outside of it here, right? It's this sense of things always needing to be juggled. It can never be one thing or the other, because balance is important. These two pentacles are stacked on top of each other. Now, in order for a Two of Pentacles to exist, there's almost this sense that it's necessary for an ace to have presented itself first, right? Because the Two of Pentacles is about plucking the potential and then spinning it around and doing something with it, right? We're multiplying it almost. But it becomes more effort to deal with something when it exists like this, once you've multiplied it, than it does to deal with the singular the singular ace of pure potentiality. And I feel like this is what it's talking to. You know, there's the notion that great power involves great responsibility, and there are certain changes that we have to bring in when we discover a certain aspect of ourselves that is quite powerful. I'm going to pin that because I think that we're going to be coming back to it. I've just noticed that I've split the deck and we've got both the Page of Pentacles and the Judgment card on the cuts there. The Judgment card for me is Scorpio, and so it talks about big decisions that need to be made, and they need to be made in light of what actually makes you happy, not what you think makes you happy, but what actually makes you happy. And you may not be aware currently what that is. Tell me about this Two of Cups. We have the Death card. There you are, Scorpio energy. We also have the Three of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Okay. Tell me about the Knight of Cups, please. Thank you. We have the Fool, or Major Arcana energy. Ooh. And we have the Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And tell me about the Nine of Cups, please. Thank you. We have the Ace of Pentacles. There it is. We have this Nine of Cups, please. Thank you. We've got the Three of Pentacles. Now, because he's pointing at something, I actually feel like I want to take another card. Ten of Pentacles. Right. Four of Wands is at the bottom of the deck, and there's no doubt in my mind at all that there are big shifts happening for you at the moment. Whether you're aware of them or not, it's almost like the rumblings have started. I think likely you are aware of them. But I sense quite a bit of indecision around how this plays out. Maybe this is why the Two of Pentacles is here. It's like, well, here's something new, and it's we have something new indicated right the way across the board here, I have to say. Here's the new thing, here's the pentacle, it's shiny, I want to put my attention onto it. In the act of putting my attention on it, I've multiplied it, because that's how these things work. But now there's more to consider than there was when there was just one. And this kind of slight feeling of hesitation that I feel for you, I actually think is going to work its way out for you over the month of January. I mean, let's not forget, as I'm recording this, it's the 5th of January, so we're very much in the grip of Mercury retrograde. And not only that, Mercury is retrograding in the sign of Capricorn, which is having everybody reassess where they thought they were going. Capricorn is about making a plan and then working out the steps that you need to take in order to reach your goal, whatever it is that you're setting for yourself. But I feel like everybody is shifting those around, because what you thought you wanted 6 months ago isn't the same as what you are now. You are different and things have changed. And so what we have here is a situation where you're on the brink of creating a new foundation for yourself, but we have the Eight of Swords underneath it. There's some stuff going on in your head here, Scorpio, that needs unpacking, I think. The interesting thing is, beneath that Eight of Swords, we have the Ace of Swords. And so there's this sense that you do actually know, the truth is there, you do understand it. But let me just flip this around. Fuck me. Right, flip this around a second so you can see stuff that's going on. This Ace of Swords has a crown of thorns around it. Okay. And I cannot help but think of the quote, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. And then that sort of modern add-on that we put on the end, but first it will piss you off. There's that kind of energy to it. The truth is there, you are aware of it, but it's sharp and it's barbed and it's not something that you're particularly enjoying. And then we have this Eight of Swords on top. It's like you're almost trying to find any other way of doing something other than the way of truth as it has been presented to you, because it's uncomfortable. It's not where you thought you were going. And that's okay. I mean, this is what this energy is that we're in at the moment. It is very much about going back to the drawing board and then looking at your daily routines and seeing what you do on the day-to-day. And is it taking you where you want to go? Well, again, first, you have to know where you're going. And I think that's probably the thing that's up for revision here. Creation of a new foundation and the duties and the responsibilities that come with this new focus of attention all seem to be pushing you towards something that you kind of thought you could probably do alongside your normal day-to-day existence. Now, the energy that we're in at the moment says, no, that's not possible. It's almost like you have to commit to it in one way or another. Anyway, this is quite interesting here, this Two of Cups. So I'm probably, flouting all manner of tarot lore right now by reading it in its sideways presentation. But I do have a reason for doing that. I pay attention to the way that the cards come out when they hit the table. And sometimes they come out reversed, sometimes they come up in the upright, and then other times they do that. And being that they have different meanings depending on whether they are reversed or upright, when it comes out like that, it feels to me like it hasn't quite committed to the energy of going one way or another. So with the Two of Cups, what we have here is a relationship that has the capacity to fall apart, be pulled apart, possibly, or come together and become much stronger. It's like it's tipping in the balance here. But the important thing is that whatever happens, it's not staying the same. Now, for some of you, this might well be a partner, your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. But it could be friends, and it could be business colleagues as well. It could be anyone that that has been important up to this point and might not be important moving forwards. I mean, that might be part of the hesitation for you. It could be somebody who's been less important but is now coming to a sense of importance. You know, whenever we see the Two of Cups, it's about intimacy. And intimacy is, it's shared energies. But depending on where it applies for you, it might be the shared energies of your career sector, or the shared energies of your spiritual sector, or the shared energies of your family sector. It'll be different for each of you. But see how we've got the Death card here, which is you, Scorpio, but it is also a state of transformation. And then we have the Three of Wands and the Ace of Wands. I mean, that feels to me like something that is actually, despite the fact that it's almost counting down, it feels like it's energy spooling up here. Now, the question of the Two of Cups is possibly, do these people come with you? Does this person come with you, or is it time to part ways? We've got the Three of Swords, and we've got the Queen of Wands, with the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So this Three of Swords feels almost avoidant at this point. It's almost like, I don't want to think about that. We'll kind of bring you back to these cards here. I don't want to think along those roads. Thank you very much. I'm sure there must be a way for me to do what I need to do without upsetting the apple cart too much, without leaving anyone behind that I want to take with me, and without necessarily picking up new people if I'm quite happy bobbing along on my own at the moment. But this is the new. It's right here. It's new creativity, it's new passion, potentially. But it is also about inspiration, and it's about the way that you live, Scorpio. Something in the way that you conduct yourself in the day-to-day, right? What you spend your time doing day-to-day is about to change. And it seems like it's important for you to be very confidently making this step. Even if it leads to the Three of Swords, whether that's your Three of Swords or somebody else's Three of Swords. Because the Six of Swords is down here. There's definite movement away from away from something and towards something else. I mean, with this card, we often get this sense of going from choppy waters into calmer waters, right? It's going from where there's lots of strife and tension into something that's a little bit calmer, and possibly there is that aspect of this here for you. But it feels like more like an acceptance of the fact that things are changing. And whatever happens in your relationships, it doesn't mean that they've failed, and it doesn't mean that they've gone wrong. It means that it's time for them to change. And that's why I think the Two of Cups has come out like this, because there needs to be some action, some activity in one direction or another to make it do that, to make it go upright or make it go reversed. And at the moment, you haven't really been engaging with that. Now, when we come into your current energy, we've got that Knight of Cups there. We also have Six of Cups, and we have the Queen of Cups. And so there is an element of the past here. I'm sorry, but you don't get to escape Mercury retrograde. It's kicking the shit out of everyone. Technology has gone completely up the swanny, but I'm seeing people having, complete meltdowns because where they thought they were going, it's not right for them anymore, and they are having to go back to the drawing board. Like, the past is resurfacing simply for long enough for you to be able to go, no, I don't do that anymore. Like, that's gone, that's going away, But it's here with the with this Knight and with this Queen of Cups. Now, this is Pisces and Cancer energy. And there's a combination here of the way do you know what it is, Scorpio? It's what you give and what you expect in return. That's what it feels like to me. But with this Fool card, something's changing. We've got endings and, you know, inherent beginnings demonstrated by the death card here, but we've got something brand new here, a brand new cycle. You are, I don't know if you're on the precipice of it or whether you've started already, but it's bringing up things for you, things from the past. Ooh, what do we have here? We've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And the Ace of Swords. I think where you expected to work with other people to do something, I think you've been knocked back. Now, I don't know, this could be family, like I said, this could be friends, this could be work colleagues. There seems to be some disappointment around the way that this new start is shaping up. It feels like it's very different to the way that you envisaged it. Can I have this Knight of Cups, please? Where's the Knight of Cups here? We've got the Ten of Pentacles here. It could well be family, but it could also well be business with the Ten of Pentacles there. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. Like, everything is in flux for you at the moment, Scorpio. And I imagine this is a little bit fucking irritating because, you know, Capricorn gets all of the kudos for being, you know, the planner. And quite rightly so. I have yet to meet a Capricorn who did not have a 5-year plan. And I swear to God, my ex-husband, who is a Capricorn, was talking about his 5-year plans before I had any idea that 5-year plans was something that Capricorn did, right? I thought that was just a him thing. It's not. But what I was going to say, though they get all the kudos for it, Scorpio are also planners. You know, think about what you've done in your emotional life in the last couple of years, right? Where there's been that hypervigilance about making sure that you've thought of every possible contingent so that nobody can ambush you. Now, that feeling that you have and the way that you guard your feelings in that way hits every single bit of your life. So if you're running a business, or, you know, you've got stuff going on, you've got some sort of project that you're working on, then you will have probably at some point thought about the eventualities of the people that you're working with not being there, something going wrong. You know, it's that forward thinking about everything. I mean, usually it's because there's a possibility of disappointment somewhere, right? You know, where can I see that and how can I head it off? But everything's wobbling around. You know, even this Ten of Pentacles, and nobody ever can doubt your commitment to something. When Scorpio commits to something, they commit. Like, the hard part is getting them to commit to something, right? If it's relationships generally for you. But particularly if it's to do with your long-term security, because you are a fixed sign, you know? And again, this card isn't upside down. We don't have absolute pandemonium breaking out, but we do seem to have some breaking down of the structure, some breaking down of the order. And it's the emotional reaction to that I am interested in for you. Like, how does this affect you? How does this affect your plans? Where are you going as a result? Because this Wheel of Fortune not only indicates that there's something here that is very useful for you to learn about yourself at this point, some sort of deeper insight, some deeper wisdom about your emotional well-being. But it also speaks to the fact that the wheel is turning, and what is now is not going to be what is this time next year. Right? There was no sign in the 6-month overviews that did not have somewhere in that 6-month period the Tower coming out loud and proud and going, it's time to change things up, bitch. There was one sign, it was Sagittarius. But all of the other signs had that. And I feel like Scorpio actually had it multiple times during that 6-month period. Now, this seems to be like it's the beginning of that rumbling. So relationships now are suddenly looking not quite as solid as they were, right? And you need to make a decision about what happens with those. But the things that you consider to be safe and secure are also starting to rumble, right? There's bits of masonry falling down and you're like, fuck, is this an earthquake? What's going on? It's not sufficient yet to bring the whole fucking thing down. I mean, we haven't seen the tower yet. I'm fucking dropping cards here, there and everywhere. Okay. But something's blowing in on the wind. It's coming. And whatever feelings you have about what you give and what you expect in return, it's almost like it's time to throw those up in the air and examine them more closely than you have done before. Because stuff's changing, and when stuff changes like this, what it does is it reveals the cracks. It shows you where things aren't as stable and solid as you thought they were. And that's good if you're committing to repair them. It's actually good if you're deciding that you don't want these things in your life anymore anyway. The worst possible thing that you could do is close your eyes to it. You notice this eye here in the middle of the thing. It's a closed eye. Action without looking to see where you're going. And the action would be to just clamp down on things and say, no, I'm not moving forward. This Three of Pentacles and this Ace of Swords means that I do think that there's a knowledge here that something is pulling apart for you. And you might not be able to see the sense of that as things stand at the moment, and you may not understand the emotions that are coming up that are associated with it, but it seems to be where your attention should be at this point. Now, the Nine of Cups is an interesting card. It's a great card, right? But it's an interesting card to come up off the top of all of this other stuff that's going on here, because what we have is a very solid set of progressions down here. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. And that says to me that you need people. You do need people. But first and foremost, what you need is to decide what makes you happy. What do you intend to spend the foreseeable future doing? Because I think what you have been doing for the longest time is anything other than what makes you happy. For some of you, you're going to have been looking for ways to be of service. For others of you, you've been absolutely balls deep in something else that's been taking up all of your attention. Could be a business, could be all sorts of things, right? But it's almost like somewhere along the way, you lost yourself in that. We have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck, we have Death reversed, and we have the Four of Swords reversed. This month feels like it's a really good month for getting back in touch with you and getting back in touch with this here. I mean, this Capricorn process that we were talking about right at the beginning, right? This is where you want to end up. That's the Ten of Pentacles. That is solid and secure. In order for something new, and there is something new, to start heading the way of the solid and the stable and the secure, what currently passes for that kind of needs to fall down a little bit. Because if you take nothing else from this reading, it's the fact that you cannot do the two things at the same time. You cannot hold on to the old paradigm whilst trying to embrace the new and have them running alongside. For whatever reason, I'm just the messenger, I don't know why that is. It's asking you to put something down so that you can, with your full attention, take advantage of what is appearing in front of you with this Ace of Pentacles and with the Fool and with the Ace of Wands, and devote your full attention to it. Because I do think that you've lost yourself along the way, somewhere here. So if you really sat with yourself, Scorpio, and you look with a very present eye at what you've got going on now, let's be Marie Kondo about this. Does it spark joy? Does your existence right now spark joy? And I don't want an instant off-the-cuff answer with you, Scorpio. I want you to really sit with this, because stuff is shaking and rumbling over here. So whatever your current paradigm is, it's not going to stay that way for much longer. And as those rumblings increase in intensity and in frequency, those things that are not absolutely solid, those things for whom it is now time to change and evolve and develop into something else, are going to start falling by the wayside. And if you're already in a state where you have somewhat lost yourself in something, then as an act of as an act of self-love, actually, I guess, you need to sit with your Nine of Cups and see if what you have going on is actually taking you there. Because with this Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck, I don't think that it is. I think there's somewhat of an about face, a volte-face that is being asked of you here. And is that easy? No, it is not. Again, I will reiterate, you are a fixed sign. But there's something here that is demanding your attention. And you can choose to ignore it. You absolutely can choose to ignore it. But you would miss the opportunity to start something in motion here that has your emotional well-being front and center. My concern is that you are more likely to hold on to, or try and hold on to, what is crumbling away, and miss this opportunity. And there is an opportunity here. It could well be that it is with new people, but it could be that it's with the same people. It's just that the roles need to change somehow. Tell me about this Three of Pentacles, please. This Three of Pentacles here. Thank you. We've got the King of Wands. That's Leo energy. So it could be that you've got a Leo that you need to work with, and also actually possibly a Cancer. But notice how we're back to that sense of how you feel. We've got action on the outside, and we've got how you feel on the inside. And actually what we want is those two things to match up. We don't want to be in a position where in 1 month, 2 months down the line from here, you realise that actually you have no interest in the thing that you've been trying to hold on to. Or actually, it's probably put this a better way, that there are cracks appearing in what you've tried to hold on to, and no matter how much you want to repair it, it's coming down. Because then you've spent 2 months trying to patch something up that actually is going to be destroyed anyway. We're talking about feelings aligned with action. It could well be that the Three of Pentacles here is actually you working with yourself. There's the Judgment card. I had a feeling it was coming out again. This is big life-changing decisions right here. It is also your judgment and the way that you trust it or you don't trust it. But I think that there's something almost a little bit triggering about the way that things are starting to rumble now, because this has been safe and solid and secure and stable for you. It's given you a nice little, outside perimeter, and it's like all my shit's in here and this is where I like it. If that starts to crumble and come down, it could well be that it's triggering for you, because it is reminiscent of an old situation. It is, however, not the same, because it feels like it's releasing you and it's releasing some other people. And like I said, what might be this cooperation and collaboration is actually the internal and the external bits of you, when you realise that they're working to different sets of different goals, different ways of going about things. If your internal space actually wants to chill and have a nice time, but you're frantic with the outside stuff, that's not aligned. If you're working really hard on something that doesn't actually spark any kind of joy in you at all, but you're still doing it anyway, that eventually will lead to you feeling really quite fucking resentful and bitter about it. Better first it is to identify what makes you happy. Have a little chat with the inside Scorpio and say, Scorpio, what do you want? What do you want? Things are changing. Things are going into a state of flux. This is an opportunity to rebuild. What are we going to do about it? That needs to be where you start from. Not action first and then feelings. It's feelings first. Because there's an incredible opportunity here. There is an opportunity for you to change your life. I think everybody is going to be offered this opportunity over the course of the next few months. Like I said, the Tower was incredibly prevalent through all of the 6 months readings. But don't forget, we've got 2 major planets, 2 big planets, outer planets, changing sign. And this is going to be huge. We've got Pluto going into, now Aquarius. We've got Saturn moving into Pisces. This seems to me like you're getting a jump on the energy. Before everybody is forced to change, you've got an opportunity to bring it in for yourself first. And I think that's great. But you do need to be very, very honest with yourself about what the 9 of Cups looks like for you and whether or not you actually have it right now. Because I think you've been covering it with stuff. I think you might have even lost touch with it. There's an element here of coping rather than enjoying. And once you see that, it will be much easier to kind of bring these things into balance. So, oh shit. I'm going to go over to Vimeo now if you'd like to join me. That is the first link in the description box. But if that's not your bag, that's absolutely fine. I mean, really, do use the energy of this retrograde to make sure that you are going in the right direction. I think that there are some 45, 90, maybe even, 180-degree turns that are coming up for you. And it's better that you are prepared for them. Like I said, you feel to me like you've got the jump on the energy here. And that's great because you get to fashion something out of this. It will be chaotic for a while, but that's actually, you work quite well there. So, nothing to worry about. Know that I love you all very, very much. And I will see you soon.